Yeah, going to do some inking on page today, and I don't know if I have much else to say. Trying something different here. Turn that around. There we go. So this is from issue 3. Not too many spoilers here. The gang is together. They're being chased by some creatures, kind of cybernetic animal kind of creature things. This page is just them fighting these creatures off. Doesn't give away what happens or anything. Anyway, working on the iPad Pro using Clip Studio. These are my pencils way down here. They're pretty light. I do my layouts really light like this. Most of the actual finished product happens in the inking process, and that's what we're going to do now, so I'll show you a little bit. Give me a second to put my headphones on. I typically have to listen to music while I'm working. Anyway, I'm just going to work and pretend like the camera's not on or anything, so... So I can tell you the light source would be coming from his ray gun thing here. So even though I don't have the black spotting and details worked out in his face, I know his face well enough. And, I've had enough practice at this. I can, on most pages, spot black just with my eye. I don't always have to lay it out. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll create another layer. I'll just do it real quick as an example. Lower the opacity. Typically I'll blow up my brush, something really large. I can just do some quick, sloppy idea of like where my shading's going to be. This is something I really recommend if you've not been doing this for 30 years. It really helps. And it still helps me a lot. But typically I only do it where there's a shot or something that's more difficult or specific. I don't know how to explain it. My brain is still mushy. All right, so let's just get back to his face here. Let's work out the details of his mouth. Also, I can be more light on the details here because I'm working digitally. So if I screw up, that's it. So it gives me a real chance to... Boy, my fingers are all dried up. That's nasty. I apologize. I'll put some lotion on for you guys next time. I love this guy's mustache. It just gets bigger near the bottom. It's so fun. He doesn't have any eyebrows, but he has still the shape underneath, the fleshy part of the eyebrows, if that makes sense. And this kind of mask over his face, which I always kind of assumed when I designed it, and somewhere in the back of my head I was thinking of it's some sort of enhancement. Maybe he's colorblind, maybe he is actually blind, or maybe it's to help him, I don't know, on the ship or something like that. Some sort of cybernetic thing. I don't know. I never really nailed it down or expressed this thought to Mags. I should probably do that. Now that we're at this moment, I'm wrapping up issue 3 pretty soon. But it's one of the fun things, like when you're creating comics, is discovering characters and meaning and things along the way. A lot of times when I'm laying down these lines, if you're interested in what I'm thinking, I'm thinking in terms of like shape and weight. So as the light is going to be a little stronger up here by the top of his, it's kind of got these curved shoulder pads. It's going to be lit more by the light going on over here, and then it gets slightly darker here. So I go light pen, the heavier pen. And I kind of feel like a bounciness as I'm laying it down. So it's like a light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy. And that helps give this kind of bouncy feel. So light, heavy. See? Go light to heavy. So light, heavy. And it gives it like this sense of fluid motion and like a bounciness. Again, with digital, it's so fun. Like you could just throw your line down and clean it up. Light to dark, kind of a bounciness. This feels good. I don't know when you guys are actually going to see this video, but I'll let you know. I haven't been recording stuff for my YouTube video for a long time. 2-3 months, longer than that, I guess, really. I've just been posting some time-lapse stuff, but I don't know, the last few months I just haven't had the mental energy to do something like this, so it feels good to do it again, and I owe a lot of credit to pal Eric Canetti. He started up his YouTube channel, and that got me all interested in going again, and then he asked me to stop by. And onto his YouTube channel, we had like a really fun stream. You should check it out. I'll put a link in there. And yeah, that just influenced me to, all right, let me do this again. Plus, you guys are making this project happen, so I want to give you something. Big behind the scene thanks and stuff. Anyway, yeah, so it feels nice to do this again. I'm suddenly forgetting his costume details. Well, I got this cheat sheet that I keep with me. Of course, I can't find it now. It's right here. Nope, I misplaced it. Yeah, that's weird. I can't find it. Well, oh wait, I might be down here. Oh, that's weird. I misplaced it. Oh, right, here it is. It's in between these sheets. So these are some of the character designs. And then I printed it out on my horrible printer so I can see their details and stuff. Actually, he's not in this outfit. It's something he's wearing that's pretty close. But it's triggered my memory now, so I do remember now how I had him dressed. So, yay. I think one of the reasons why I haven't been streaming or making videos is after, say, around Christmas time, the holiday season, I took on a bunch of more work, more projects. Some of it's for practical, financial reasons. Some of them are just great projects and stuff. Obviously, well, actually, all of them I'm doing because I'm interested. I like them, even if it's a job I'm just doing for money, I have to still have some interest or it'll be torture. So yeah, I've just been too tired and too wiped out to make videos, and it was difficult too because a bunch of the stuff that I'm working on right now is some work for hire or something like this, where we're keeping it under wraps until we announce it, and so I'm always reticent about like, well, I can record this, but I can't even show it for months on end and stuff, so that would always kind of stop me, but I'm like, all right, Mike, get off your butt, make videos for these people. They are investing in your project. You gotta give them as much material as possible. And occasionally I'll share some Galaxy Madness stuff with the public at large, try and entice them in for some of the extras and the story. But you guys are getting all of the good stuff, all of the meat. This guy's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite characters, is Andin. One of my favorite to draw for sure. But it also kind of makes sense because he reminds me of Puka a little bit from my Create Our Own series, Kickstarter, all that. The After Realm. There's a goat. Got the goat eyes, big bulby things. I guess that's a design that I have been liking a lot lately. Character-wise, they're very different, but visually there's some similarities, which is fun. Ogden's fun because he's intelligent, he's an alien, he's funny. I like to think of him as being a little cowardly. Cowardly might be the wrong word, but I think he knows that he's just not as tough. He's not a fighter. He's got other skills. Although that might change over time, or even by the time this comes out, because like I said, we're in this really fun period where we're discovering our characters even as we go along. Like, I think we were thinking of Andin as being a little more like erudite, almost aristocratic, like at first, and then there was something about him that he just called for some stranger attitude stuff. Probably Mags reacting to the design, because like she described him one way, but then as I started drawing him another, it gets a life of its own. He starts to dictate to us how he should be treated and whatnot. It's pretty cool. I love it when characters come alive like that. One of the things that I'm going to have to do is go back and fix minor details once I bring this to my larger Cintiq. One thing that's weird about working digitally is, surprisingly, I find my reference material just harder to deal with than when I just have a piece of paper here, because references are in files and are on this computer, but not on my this or that, and I'm sure there's smart ways I can set it up, like cloud services and stuff, but that all seems like so much more work than just having printed out paper that you can just refer to. So I think I'm going to start doing that shortly, is just do a lot more of this, because like the costumes are in this issue are slightly different, so I keep forgetting like, what kind of belt equipment did I give them, and little details like that. Here's another little fun trick I'll do when I'm spotting. Like sometimes I'll just create a new layer. Then I can do stuff like this. I'm just drawing over it, but it's another layer, so I can do some fun stuff like what I like to do is so now like over here I can lighten up the opacity a little bit and see through it. Then I'm going to just erase through the line. another fun thing is I could tell it's not going to work out too much here, but sometimes I'll just like throw down some black, even over stuff I already drew or didn't intend to put in that area, just to see how it looks. Now that looks fairly good. If I wanted to use this, what I would do is just see his mustache. No, that's not great, but it's just an example of like playing around the layers and stuff. I'm just going to stick with what I was originally going for here, and then I'll work out those details after. Let's give him a little more. So what I want to do here is, by extending the shadow over here and then erasing it by like his facial markings, it gives it a tiny bit of depth. Although now it looks kind of weird, I think. Yeah, that's too much. That's too strong. So I'm going to get rid of that. Oops. Probably better off with something like just a tiny bit of indication that his facial markings, kind of come up like that. This is coming together. I kind of screwed this up. That's not supposed to be like that. I could just redo it pretty easily. I'll show you. Well, if I'm being lazy, I could just do this and whoops. Do this instead. I was going to create another layer and just kind of do it, the way I want it to in my head, but it's not that important to slave over every detail. So I think this will work fine. Sometimes I've got to lower the opacity on my panel borders. I keep these on another layer too, the panel borders. This way Taki can play around with if she wants to use the panel border or turn the panel border into like a color hold or something. All right. I got to think about how I want to do these guys because they're a cross between like a biotech and organic. Like I don't want them to look completely like robots, and I don't want them to look too organic either. I think I'm getting a good balance here. I think. just adding in these sort of extra creases, and it looks like there's sections to the body. I think that helps make it feel a little mechanical. I'm also going to do some shading in here, which I'm avoiding for now. I'm just laying down the shapes and the forms. And little details, like I said, like trying to make it look pseudo-mechanical. Give them these funny looking round ear things. It's kind of on target for this genre that, Silver Age, Golden Age, well, Silver Age really, sci-fi look. There's a lot of creatures with rounded ears for some reason. And that's a fun part of working on this, is finding that aesthetic, And I think it was really astute of Mags to want to do this sort of time period as the vibe, that kind of golden silver age science fiction stuff. Because I don't see a lot of it done. When I do see it done, it's updated so much it doesn't really actually feel like this time period. Now, I guess if I kind of also render these with a little bit of a metal sheen, that'll probably help sell this idea. Yeah, I think that's working. Like, this stuff feels like it definitely should be time lapse. I don't know how interesting this could be, but you let me know. Maybe this stuff is more interesting than I know. I don't know. think I'm gonna go for some rendering now. I'm gonna create another layer to do this rendering on just in case I'm not happy with it. And I don't care if it bleeds over on top of other things because it's on another layer. It's going to be super easy to clean up. Just trying to give this a little bit of a kind of metal sheen to it, you know. Oh, that was weird. Yeah, I think this is working. I'm digging it. There's not much rendering in this book, meaning I don't do a lot of lines like this. There's some, not much. That's a style choice. And that also allows me to take it places, you know, so like because I don't have a lot of rendering, when I do the rendering, it'll make things stand out more, you know. I can save it as like a statement. So these guys. Like I think that adding this rendering to their sort of attack pose is going to make this panel really stand out from other ones because of this like extra little layer of intensity. And if this kind of rendering was on everything, it wouldn't really have any impact when I need it to. Or it would be a less of an impact when I need it to. And even here, I don't want to do too much rendering. But yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be pretty, it's going to work really nice when Taki colors it. I'm going to let this guy stand out. So he's going to break the panel border, which really emphasizes that it's coming at you, you know. I don't know if you heard that. That's my cat, Roman. He's asking to get kicked out. It's usually about this time of day Roman likes to come in and stand on top of all the paperwork and flip through it. He has some accounting to do, it seems like. Oh, here he is. Say hi, Roman. No, he got shy. All right, so yeah, there's the panel. And this panel border might end up being black. It might end up being a color hold. I don't know. We'll see. I'll give you something fun before I go. Let's do Krios here. Oh, yeah, I can lower that layer now that... Okay. Krios is such a cool character, so fun. I'm doing a thing with her ears where they're barely pointed. Like, they're a little pointy, but they're definitely not like Spock ears. Like, they're the kind, like, if you saw in a regular person, you'd say, hey, they have elf ears. But they're not elf ears, they're just a little pointy. Because Krios isn't human. I forget the name of her peoples or religious order. And I love the character that, or the description of the character that Mags had originally written for her, that she's kind of like a, you know, the drunken warrior trope, but like, not trope, but, well, sort of. You know, you got, what's his name from the Seven Samurai, and point is, she's hard drinking, spiritual, older, grizzled warrior character that I don't think we've seen much of before in comics. And she also has just white pupil things. And she wears this weird shoulder kind of thing. It's sort of based on a medieval, I don't know the word for it, but typically it looks something like this. So it comes over your shoulders like that, and then there's like straps or something holding it together. You know, it just keeps like, it's usually made of leather and stuff. I don't know what it's called, but she's got kind of something like that on. I imagine that it's like it's protective, but it's also flexible. It's not really like a metal. And underneath, she's got her cape. Cape isn't long. I like that kind of Robin cape. It's a little short, although sometimes I end up drawing it way too long. And she has these two little glowing Eskrima sticks, which I'll draw in afterwards. I'll get her form first. Sometimes the thing I'll do is I will concentrate on the character first, and if they're holding a sword or a gun or something, that I end up drawing that later. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, or exactly why I do it. I think because I just don't want to slow down to do the gun research or the weapon research. You know, these are just sticks in her hands. I'm not sure why I do that. Probably just like the sense of needing to move forward on every page. Like I hate backwards momentum. So like anything that makes me feel like I'm moving forward psychologically helps me out through the page. I'm going to have to make her top side bigger, because obviously if her arm's coming up like this, that's not enough room for this all to be covered. All right, I'm going to wrap this up shortly. Oh, I love those shapes. That felt so good. Yeah, that's a weird thing to say, I know, but like there's some joy I get out of laying down just these really bouncy lines that work and conform with the form. I can draw bouncy lines and they're completely useless. So sometimes when I draw something like that, I feel like really good about it. It's almost a visceral feeling when you lay down the right lines. It's like, ooh, yeah. Such a dork. But that's how it feels. Yeah, that just feels great. I love it. Yeah, that's so better. I can feel my brain is slowing down, so I'm going to need a little bit of a break here. And it's weird how much drawing comics is a mental game, like even in inking. Like you think, you're just sitting there drawing, should be relaxing, it feel great, and it does. But it is surprising the mental energy it can take on you. So not quite finished, but here you go. You get the gist. I'll clean all these little details up. Anyway, here we go. I hope you had fun. And that's it. Till next time, guys. Take care.